This is not a good situation. Turned out way worse than I anticipated it could happen. Alright, snowshoes, and then we're out of here.
Open air outdoors.
Salted caramel hot chocolate. What I've done here today, instead of packing a thermos of coffee or a thermos of soup, I pack a thermos of boiling hot water. Then I have a package full of assortments. I have coffee, I have tea, I have hot chocolate, I have ramen. That way there, whatever I feel like having, I can put in my cup, put the hot water in there. Away we go. Excellent way of doing it. I like having the options. But if you're new to the channel, my name is Mark. Welcome. And if you're a recurring channel viewer, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, please. And for my ongoing subscribers, if you're wondering where's Mr. Riley, he's out on a road trip with the wife. He will be terrorizing my daughter's house over the weekend. So beautiful day, look at that, just absolutely gorgeous. But although it is minus 10-ish approximately, I have a thermometer. I'll check it later, see how the temperatures are going. I overheated, my glasses were fogging up. I had to remove one of my layers. By the way, how do you like my attire? Camo pants with high vis. What can I say? But it's these things are extremely warm. I can attest to that. I wear this to chase down broken equipment in the middle of the night at minus 25 Celsius with wind chill factors of minus 30, even colder. And these things are super warm, and they come in layers, and I had to layer down. I was just simply overheating. And also I changed the way I'm hauling my gear in. I came in pulling the sleigh and hauling the pack at the same time. My pack weight was 41 pounds before the camera gear went in. And the sleigh has got to be probably 50 pounds or more. And these sleighs, obviously, they're not the greatest. The biggest problem with them is they plow through the snow. We received a full 10 centimeters of snow yesterday, the day before yesterday. So I'm breaking trail. I'm putting on a good sweat. My destination is back there. I'm gonna go find a place somewhere on the lake. I'm gonna pitch camp. I'm gonna drill holes. That's why I have so much gear, because I have camping gear, I have overnight gear, I have extra clothing, I have fishing gear. I have it all. Let's go do this. Come on. Get in there. cold enough that the water in my minnow bag is starting to slush up. Here's another thing you can do when you pack out hot water versus soup or something. You grab your cup of fresh snow. Just like that. Still got a little bit left in here. Excellent. I need to rehydrate. Camp is not set up yet. Tent is up. Stove needs to go in next. Still gotta get firewood. I still gotta get my pack. It's down the lake over there. After a while it was too hard to pull, so I started doing similar to portaging with a canoe. You go in with your pack, you drop it, you go back, you get the canoe, you bring it, you go back and forth. So I've been doing the hopscotch thing with my pack and my sleigh. So I still gotta go get my pack out there. But first I have to rehydrate. I did come here to go fishing, so let's start fishing. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that is to set up the hot tent and fish right out of the hot tent. So I'm happy I'm doing this. It's been on my to-do list. What I have with me is just my own homemade fishing rig. No jaw jackers going on here today. I'm gonna tip that jig with the minnow, drop it in, and continue setting up camp. I'm inside here out of the wind. It's not a windy day, but there's still a breeze coming in from the north. Here's how this works. This is my arrow. Obviously you can figure out when the arrow points down means I got a fish, but more importantly this is exactly 12 inches, so that way there I can count how deep the lake is. I got 25 feet right here. Yeah, there's a hole right here in my pole. I saw it earlier right there. That's it. That's simple. I'm going to set up my bed right here where I'm kneeling, and yeah, my stove is right next to the camera, and I got my line right there next to my bed. I got a chair, but I don't know if I'm going to be actually using it. Come on, move. There you go, my big girl. How about I do this like that? Okay. How's that? That feel better? Yeah? Lexi was starting to get cold. When she lifts her paw up in the air and then the other paw goes up. She wasn't shivering, but when you see the paws going up one at a time, she's getting cold. My phone froze earlier. I took out my phone. I wanted to take a few pictures and my phone was frozen. I put that felt pad kind of looking thing, and that will be a good moisture barrier, and then on my cot I'm off the ground. Instead of going through the forest and cutting up a whole pile of spruce boughs and piling spruce boughs on here, and after a while spruce boughs, they flatten out and you're still laying on the ground. You need an immense thickness of spruce boughs in order to be really elevated off the ground. So that's why I got my cot, and that's why I got that plastic pad underneath, is because if I don't, my cot is just simply over time going to sink into the snow, and next thing you know, I'm laying on the ground again. So I'll be okay. Lexi is testing it out. She seems to be all right. So all is good. And oh, MRE for supper. Menu number 21. This MRE is from 2019, as indicated from the pack. I'm not ready to eat. This is not supper whatsoever. However, there is something in here that I want that's going to go with my boiling water. That's lake water, so I had to boil it for a few minutes, make sure it's clean. And always get a Nescafe inside of these Canadian MREs. Having that nice hot liquid on a cold winter day, awesome. No bite on the line. Earlier I thought I had something. It seemed like my line was starting to drop very slightly, but might have been just a minnow swimming around down there on the end of that jig. You do know that I'm going to be sleeping there tonight, right? And there's not enough room for the two of us. You will have to sleep on your sleep pad. The things we do for our dogs, right? All right. Winter camping, it really is a lot of work. It seriously is a lot of work. You really have to plan for it. You have so much gear. The thing is, it's the gear. You have to bring so much extra gear and different gear. That's why I don't do a whole lot of it. Now, one time when I was younger, I did plenty of winter camping, ice fishing trips, and had a lot of fun. But it's a lot of work, and I'm glad I do it. Like, this is a good outing. Not too extended, just an overnight. Gotta warm up my lighter. That's what happens when it's cold. Lighters need to be warmed up. What I have here is my homemade fire starter. It's made with chaga. I put a little wick on it. Alexi's curled up. She's got her bed. She's okay. And my pot's on the stove. and I'm trying to get that going, and because I need it for my meal. So I'm trying to dry up, and I got my jacket hanging off the pole, and I got my hat and my gloves up on the top, right, because all the heat goes up. It's really concentrated on heat up there, so hopefully I can have everything dried off. Oh, cranberry maple trail mix. Sorry about the lighting, it's really hard. You have no idea how hard it is making a video inside a teepee style tent. It's really difficult. I'll be munching on this while I'm getting supper going, because it's going to be a while. My stove is not bucking like I'd like it to be. What else do I have here? The hamburger bun. Oh, I never said what exactly, did I? Did I tell you what it is? It's turkey strips with an orange sauce. A grape drink, I'm not going to have that. Another grape drink. What else is in here? Strawberry jam. There's the main right here. See, it comes into a box. So once my water gets hot, I'll just put the bag in the pot, and that'll warm up my supper. Simple as that. And then I'll just eat it right out of the bag. Oh, a chocolate drink. I doubt I'll have that tonight. I'll save that for some other day, some other time. And the chocolate bar I'll have tonight probably. What else do we have? There's other small doodads in here. For example, there's the plastic bag for mixing your drink. Tabasco. There's always a Tabasco sauce in these Canadian MREs. And then you got the little compressed towelettes. A couple of Tic Tacs. And also, it comes with a dessert. And today the dessert is, what is it? Fruit cocktail. Yeah. Oh, that's good. There's a cluster of cranberry right there. As you can tell, the lighting's quite different. I had the light was hanging off the pole, in the center pole, lighting down, and everything was cool. And I got up to check because I got my coat hanging on the top, and I had my hat and my gloves. Everything was hanging off the top. And when I went up there and checked on things, I knocked the light. Yeah, well, there's a hole right down there at the bottom, right next to the pole. Yeah, my light went right in the hole and down the bottom of the lake it went. So now I got my headlight that I'm using as a backup. And supper's almost ready. However, I have a problem. Let me angle this down a little bit here. I have a bit of an issue. As I was loading the stove went kind of like did a little and tilted, and it's so gradual I didn't really pay much attention to it, but the water's coming up, and my hole inside of the tent is turning into slush. And it's not because I'm running a stove and it's too hot in here, because at the ground level, at the level of the ice, it's freezing cold, because it's freezing in one corner, but at the hole, the water's coming up. And when I was drilling the hole earlier today, I noticed I was punching through layers of ice. All those layers of ice, water, guess what? The water's coming up. I drilled my hole to fish, and everything's getting wet, and my stove tilted because it's sinking in the slush. I jammed a couple of pieces of wood underneath it. I'll see if I can get the camera on there with the lighting that I got just to show you guys. But yeah, with the stove sinking and the water coming up, this is not a good situation. So I've been thinking about what I'm going to do. I'm going to have my supper, and then I'm going to pack up just a few things. My truck is about 1.5 kilometers away. It's pitch black out there, but it doesn't matter. I got my one headlight. I'm going to leave all my gear behind. I'm going to grab my pack sack with my sleeping bag, and I got a couple of blankets. I got Lexi's blanket. I'm going to head out, and I'm going to sleep in the truck tonight and just do what I got to do. There's my supper. It's in the pot warming up, and then my hamburger bun is sitting on a piece of wood. I just got to elevate it off the stove so it doesn't get too hot. That's warming up, and then you can clearly see how the stove is on an angle. And then if I go like that, you see a couple of pieces of wood that I jammed in there underneath the leg just to hold it up. That stove is sinking, and there's my hole that I'm fishing out of, and my light went down. So I'm just about ready. Lexi's doing good. She's laying down. She's sleeping. She's having a good snooze. Alright, snowshoes, and then we're out of here. Slush is coming up right there. Lexi, you're gonna sleep with my coat. It's snowing a little bit out there, but it's not cold, so it's good. I am wrapped up in my sleeping bag. I'm going to finish my supper. Lexi's wrapped up in my big heavy coat. We're gonna be okay, obviously. But now, let's get into this dessert, because after trekking through the snow with a fully loaded pack, I built up a bit of a hunger. It's super cold. It's like freezing cold. I also have that hot water, so I'm going to make myself probably a tea after I'm done this. Have a tea and grab my satellite communicator and have a little chit chat with my wife before I turn in for the night. It's going on 8 o'clock there now. Did pretty good time. You know what? I'm very confident that I made the right choice to bail. I couldn't see anything good happening out there. The water just kept rising and rising and rising, and stoking up that stove It was starting to pump out heat. Obviously that heat doesn't help. Even though it's freezing cold at the ground level, it's still, the water was coming up, and slowly that water coming up from the hole was saturating all the snow around. And when I left, I mean, there was 4 inches of water just outside the drilled hole. So I mean, what am I supposed to do? Crawl into my sleeping bag, hope for the best, and then wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm swimming in there. Wake up to stoke up the stove, and the stove is tipped over in the water. Not a good deal. So I'm happy with my decision. Boy, things have really warmed up. It's -1. At one point last night, I woke up and it was -10. I believe that was the coldest it got last night. I'm quite surprised. I slept quite well, all considering. I really did. Lexi's doing good, and Lexi? Yeah. I woke up periodically, and aside from getting cold feet, my feet were cold quite most of last night. So I ran the truck 3 times, I believe, get the heat going down on my feet and warm them up. I have down puffy sleeping bag and an additional down puffy blanket. So I was quite warm. There was no problem. Coffee is going down so good. Once I'm done drinking this, I've already reorganized myself here at the truck. I emptied my pack of all the items I brought back out with me yesterday. Obviously that's all going to stay here. I'm going to go back with an empty pack so I can put some of my load in my pack instead of everything in the sleigh. Another 4 centimeters fell last night. It's still falling now, so there'll be another accumulation today, probably another centimeter throughout the day, I would imagine, the way things are looking. Wow, did I ever make the right call last night? The entire area, there's 2 inches of water. The tent is in the water. Wow, this turned out way worse than I anticipated it could happen. Let me grab the camera and I'll pan. You'll see my tracks. I'm standing in water. I'm sinking in the water. I'll grab the camera and I'll pan around the tent and see for yourself. There's the tent. There's my trail out in the distance, and I noticed about 50 feet out, Lexi's tracks were wet, and there's my tracks. I'm post holing in the slush right here. Look at that, all water. Let's open up the tent and see how bad it is in there.